this up, and I keep trying to say, like, this is what's happening, this is what's happening, this is what's happening, that there is a propaganda campaign against the community here, and that our own community members that are being lit up in the media as being problems of the square, of like, all these carjackings, all these crimes, like all of this lawlessness within inside the square, are the same people that are being paid by the city to bulldoze the square at 3:30 in the morning. And saying that, oh, we had community consensus. I'm like, well, you had consensus from the same 20 dudes that you were booking all summer and continuously releasing to amp up the crime rate within concentrated neighborhood. Again, all of this is documented. It's open information. The people who have been working for Agape that got contracted are the same people that the city has been arresting and releasing over and over and over again for all actively boosting the crime rates for their own narrative and doing it legally. Which is why when I say, like, working within the legal system is not going to save us, is because the legal system is actively working against us in very tangible, real ways.
Wow. Can you talk about that a little bit more? We know fresh after the uprising started, the police stopped policing. And then it became a political entity for them to police. Oh, I'm going to police this ward or that ward or not this ward because of this city council member said they want to defund me and they don't want me to have my job. What is, so you're just breaking down some of the stuff. I didn't even really know some of this. How deep does it go, and can you drop any more of that information?
Yeah, so former, hold up, quick pause. Can we pause for a second?
Yeah.
I just wanted to see you. Oh, you don't want to be shot? Fine. I think I'm finally no longer.
Will you bring my keys back to me? There is a bubbly water can.
Inmediatamente. Sí, algo sí vemos. Aquí hay otra.
Okay, hi, ask that again.
Yeah. What else?
No justice, no streets. Can you see we're a bunch of lawless animals out here? We're just spraying each other with water because I'm a witch and I'll melt.
Very scary. No, a lot of people have said this community is much safer than it has ever been. So when it comes to the police, this last year, they quit their job in the beginning of the uprising. They might have gone on a silent strike organized by Bob Kroll.
Was it silent?
Ooh. Talk about what else has happened since then. You just talked about some of the boosting of the crime rates. Legally, sort of changing the narrative within themselves. They've worked with the media to, police officers have given reports to Jay Coles from Channel 5 to report on this no-go zone. What else has happened?
Oh my God, Nico, I'm going to be real with you for a hot second here. I would love to actually intentionally book an hour with you to break this down and to provide you with the documentation, the bulletproof points, list by list, because I have been doing it. I would love to do that in the next week because for the sake of my spoons and energy for the night, and that is like, I want to be able to dedicate that to my full attention. But I will say this right now. WCCO has been directly working with Bob Kroll and the police union to put out their narrative, and WCCO has been also providing information to Star Tribune. Star Tribune has been working with a journalist named Dina Winters, who works with Minnesota Reformer. Dina Winters has been an individual that has only been interviewing dissident neighbors in the square. Those neighbors are people that either moved in 4 or 5 months ago and had completely rejected any type of community contact, or neighbors that have lived here for 20 years and have had so many other complaints to this point and are choosing to take it out on the community now. Showing up right now and how all of this is feeding back in. So it's like, okay, so you want to take the good, uplift the bad, and say that we're not doing enough because we're not doing it perfectly. And that goes back to what I said in the beginning of, why are we expected to be perfect? We are grieving people. We are people who are actively experiencing trauma, genocide, active form and abuse within systems and individual relationships within the city. Why on earth are we being asked to be perfect when the city is not being asked of the same? Why are we being asked to have a perfect response and to have all of the answers and solutions? We're like, okay, well, here's a step, but to do the rest, we have to choose to do it together. And the city is saying, here's our pushback, and here's what we're going to do to make sure that you never have to deal with it. And that's all I'm hearing is that, oh, you don't want to have to deal with taking ownership and responsibility over your feelings, your life, your neighborhood, your home. Folks are so comfortable giving that responsibility up to higher powers that don't actually exist. They are a fabricated entity. And so that's what breaks my heart, is that we are out here actively choosing connection and community. We are actively out here.
Because it's dangerous and unorganized. I filmed out here